Hello everybody, my name is Sir Gaius Tascius Severus Fabianus, and I'm generally known as Sir Tash. I'm the newly deputized Marshal for Steel Fighting within the SCA in Atlantia. The SCA has newly adopted our steel fighting rules that allow you to use an actual weapon upon the field that is in every respect the duplicate of the kind of weapons that were actually used in medieval tournament. They're rebated, they're not, which means not sharpened, but otherwise have the feel and characteristics of a sword because they're a sword. In that way they inform our rattan fighting, because rattan fighting is meant to duplicate or be a model of a sword. We're going to use an actual sword. And it's kind of hard to deny the validity of that if you're an average tourist in a crowd and you see someone swinging a sword, you immediately get that this is combat with a sword. We have chosen the King Rene rules of the 1400s because those rules were adopted to stop people from dying in tournaments. A pope had in the 1200s declared anyone who died in the tournament damned, and tournaments were still happening, people were still dying, and so various rules were made, such as not being able to strike a man who was no longer wearing his helmet, not striking a man upon the ground, and most importantly for us, not using the point of the weapon or the pommel, because these were techniques that actually did kill people. All of you who talk about half-swording, we're not doing half-swording for that very reason, because they were battlefield techniques that had performance value on a battlefield. We're doing something safer, but something that still requires skill, as we're going to have judges counting the blows made one opponent upon the other in such a way that force will be used. We're requiring a person to use 3 joints within their blow so that the form of the blow is actually done in a forceful way. Now, if you're curious about our rules, you can look up the King Rene rules yourself. You'll find that majority of the King Rene rules are actually dealing with the pageantry of the event. There are very formalized ways that the judges come upon the field, the contestants come upon the field, display their helmets. The whole point of this pageant was it was a show. It was a form of entertainment that also involved skilled fighting. We're going to be using the same type of judging, 4 judges that are determining how many blows the opponents are making upon each other. By doing this kind of judging, we are taking away the ability to just pummel into submission by virtue of we're no longer rewarding the power of the blow, the actual power of the blow. Doesn't mean you can't throw a powerful blow. It's just that you're not going to be rewarded for hitting a person especially hard, especially if that person gets 2 faster blows in while you have your 1 amazing blow. So we are going to be basically putting a value on the skills and speed of a person, but our judges will be trained to show and know what a good blow looks like. In other words, involving 3 joints of motion. We have spent quite a bit of time making our rule set, and I encourage you to go over and look at that rule set and see how we have made something that will allow people to fight in a relatively safe way. Rattan actually hits harder than steel weapons because steel tends to skip off of metal and rattan tends to conform to what it hits. But you don't want to be hit by a steel weapon on a portion of your anatomy that isn't covered by some metal. So obviously we're requiring better armor than you would have had for rattan fighting. And we're also requiring a certain amount of appearance because we are putting such emphasis on display. This is something for the crowd to appreciate. Oftentimes the crowd will actually be judging the combat. And so we are looking for that tournament atmosphere, and in a way this gets back to the roots of the SCA, as the original SCA came out of a backyard tournament. I encourage you all to try this out. Hunt us up and look into it. Please ask for advice before you buy any equipment, as our equipment rules are stringent out of necessity. I encourage and hope to see you upon the field. Thank you for watching.